If we break above this red resistance, at that point, that is the bullish scenario, in my opinion. And that means that we're very likely going to see another leg up towards all-time highs. So essentially, we have to break something like 50K, 50.49 here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. As always on Monday, I'm joined with Carl from the moon. Last week, we covered Bitcoin. And this week, we're going to cover Bitcoin. On last week's video, Carl talked about a falling wedge and what would happen if it broke up, and it played out exactly as he predicted. So first and foremost, guys, before we get into the video, make sure to go down to the description, click on Carl's link to his channel, The Moon. Make sure you guys are a subscriber of his channel as well. Carl, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Well, I am doing very, very well. I'm very happy about the Bitcoin pump we saw since last week. Well, the big question is, are we going to see any follow through? Are we going to dump back down? Essentially, yeah, like you said, last week I showed everyone this falling wedge and the fact that if we break a certain resistance point, then we are likely to see a pretty decent pump to 48K approximately. So let's just go into the charts and take a look at that. All right, so what we can see here is the falling wedge that I was showing in the previous week's video, like this white wedge. And there were two levels that I showed last week. First of all, obviously the resistance here out of the falling wedge, very important. And also this level here at 44.4. So basically the trade was, if we break this level, then that's going to result in some type of a reaction to the upside. And well, ever since this point here, we can see that Bitcoin has come up to the top of this move, 12%, currently up 8%. And personally, I did take this trade. So and big shout out to all of you guys out there who also followed this trade here. But yeah, so essentially we met now the initial target, which was this 48K level. And this 48K level comes from some resistance there, and some support way back here in April. So it's a big level, big resistance. So it's not surprising that we're seeing some consolidation here. Now, the technical target out of a falling wedge is the top of the wedge, which in this case is all the way up here, right? So we're talking about almost $53,000 would be the technical target, which means that Bitcoin could go up another 10% according to classical technical analysis. But we should also keep in mind that, well, first of all, we're running into resistance. That was the first thing I said. But also, if we zoom out like this, then we can see that there's another resistance here, this red resistance coming down, which could be part of a huge descending triangle like this. And this level will be very important here, because if we get rejected, then that could mean that we're actually going to go down and see another leg down like this and maybe test this green box again. And well, as you can see, that would result in another descending triangle here like this maybe. So that it's a bearish pattern.
That would make a boring end to the year. So I don't think that's what we're going to see.
I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, that would be very boring. This would mean that we're going to go sideways towards November and maybe even dump down like this for December. And hopefully, maybe in January, get that big breakout towards the upside. But I mean, I'm like you, of course. I don't want that to happen. I would like to see Bitcoin go to 300K or at least 100K within the next few months. But we always have to be, we have to be, what's it called? Unbiased. We have to be see all the scenarios. But basically, if we break above this red resistance, at that point, that is the bullish scenario in my opinion, and that means that we're very likely going to see another leg up towards all-time highs. So essentially, we have to break something like 50K, 50.49 here. But it's a descending resistance, so we cannot say the exact number. But so yeah, we have the bullish scenario. Like I said, the bullish scenario is that we break through the resistance here and go above all-time highs towards the end of the year. The neutral scenario or bearish scenario kind of would be this scenario, right? Where we just go kind of sideways and go boring and hopefully go up later. And the bearish scenario is that we actually do complete this descending triangle and break down below the support here. Personally, I think the likeliest scenario is probably the one where we just go sideways for some time, and maybe beginning next year we start to see a break to the upside. But that remains to be seen. I might be wrong on that one. And I know that everyone in the comments will say, Carl, you're saying it's going to go up or down or sideways right now. But I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm just showing you the different scenarios. And depending on what resistance or support we break, we will know which scenario is playing out. And this is just classical technical analysis. This is how it works. We're not predicting necessarily something. We're just showing basically, just like last week. I didn't say we are going to go up. What I said was, if we break the resistance out of this falling wedge, at that point, we are very, very likely to see a pump. So that happened. And if you want to say it was as predicted or not, that's up to you guys.
Yeah. Well, we always want to say that.
Exactly.
Exactly as I predicted. Listen, Carl. So you're saying you think the most likely scenario is that we go sideways for a while?
I would say at least for I think so, yeah, because we got so overexcited up here at 64K. And of course, we did see a shakeout here, but I'm not sure if it was enough to really build up the momentum we need to break 100K.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong there, definitely. If we break above the resistance here, then at that point, I think that it's likelier that I'm wrong and that we're probably just going to go up. But then we have to really break above 50K. And to be very, very sure about this, we need to break above 53K, to be honest.
So when we're looking at where it's getting pretty close to the resistance on the red line of the descending triangle there, is it important that we break through it on the first test? Because I'm looking back at the other points, and it was like basically it got up there, got rejected, and then didn't return to really testing it.
Which line? The red one?
Yeah, the red one at the top. Like if you look all the way on the left side at the first one, it's like it hit 64K, came down. Yeah. It didn't retest that anytime soon. Then it retested around 53K, got rejected, and now it's been several weeks now. It's not like we see a lot of times where you're constantly retesting the wedge. It's like here it looks like, or the triangle, if it gets tested and it gets rejected, it's going to be a while before you have another shot. Is that kind of how you see this playing out? Like once we get to that number, like 49, 50K, whatever it is it important that we go straight above it on the first test?
I would say no, it's not necessarily important. I mean, if we get rejected here, we could still do this, right? And we could still break out maybe down here at 46K. So I wouldn't say.
But I'm saying that's 6 weeks away, you know?
Yeah. That would mean that we're going to go boring for some time here. Yeah, that would be, very boring. But we've seen these boring times in crypto before. I mean, this was boring right there. This was incredibly boring right here. It wouldn't surprise me to see another boring period of time here, even though I would hope to see, honestly, if it goes up or down, I'm happy. Sideways is the worst. It's just so boring. I'd rather see a big dump or a big pump, because at least we can trade it. At least we can see some action and people start talking. But sideways is just very bad for crypto. It's just so boring.
Yeah. Well, I feel like everybody's geared up for a good October. And if we don't get a good October, I feel like the air is going to be totally sucked out of the room. I don't think in November people are going to be still too bullish on Bitcoin. I think the sentiment right now is very important. I feel like a lot of people are living on the hopium of, in 2017, we had a bearish September, and then it was followed by a bullish October, bullish November, bullish December. And I think a lot of people are kind of hoping for the same thing. So if we're not going to get that, I don't see if we go down, if we go sideways to the end of the year and we're down, $35,000. I don't know at the beginning of next year, there's going to be enough there unless we get an ETF approved or something to be able to get those numbers,
Yeah, we need some bullish news, something to happen maybe.
Yeah. Well, because this looks like if we don't break up and break out soon, I mean, this looks like classic bear market pattern.
I mean, yeah, if we're gonna get, if I would to be very, very honest here, I mean, yeah, this is a huge descending triangle, right?
Yeah.
And if this was anything else than Bitcoin, I would just say that, guys, we should just be realistic here. It looks like this is probably going to play out
Yeah.
because, I mean, if we zoom out, we've seen that before, right? We've seen a descending triangle way back here, back in 2018. Huge shout out to all of you guys who lived through this time. And then we saw another descending triangle right here. So these descending triangles, they do tend to break down for Bitcoin here. Look at this. We saw a big dump there, big dump there. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound all bearish and stuff, but it's just it's something we have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sit here and say that we're gonna break down here because honestly, it's Bitcoin. We should go up. It just doesn't really make sense for us to go down here.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, we've had so much bullish news lately, so we'll have to continue to watch it. I mean, you know, at the moment of this recording, Bitcoin's not behaving super great, but we did have a good weekend and it's kind of retraced a little bit. But we'll have to see what happens. I think we're going to test and break it to the upside, and then we'll get out of this triangle. But if not, you know, if this pattern is playing out like you think it might be, then, you know, we sure enough may already be in a bear market. So that's a little scary. But all right, guys, well, drop your comments down below. I want you guys to let me know whether you are bullish or bearish right now on the price of Bitcoin. And make sure to go subscribe to Carl's channels where you get more bearish predictions like this every single day. I'm just kidding. Sometimes you get some bullish predictions from him.
Yeah.
All right, guys, drop those comments down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.